What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. A beautiful October morning, I'll tell you. I want to say thanks to everybody that saw me out here this morning and stopped and said hi. Scott, Paul, Mike, 3-4 different boats stopped and said hello. That's so cool. I always love meeting new people. It was cold this morning, so I'm going to tell you, the temperature said 38. I walked out to the garage this morning and almost slipped and broke my neck on my sidewalk in one spot, and it was ice. And I'm like, ooh. So I walked out to the driveway to my truck, and my windshield was ice, was solid for the first time. Now, I walked the other side of the house towards the river to the boat. Obviously, the river water is much warmer and it insulates everything. There was no frost out there on the water, on the riverside. My windshield was wet. And that's in the span of, 150 feet between where my truck is out by the road and where the boat is in the river. So that was, I'm assuming every place inland got a pretty good frost this morning. So surface temp down here, and I'm way down in the west end with an east wind blowing. Surface temp is 55.6. So it's still going down every day a little bit more, and certainly these colder nights will suck the temp right out. It was a lot of fog, so to speak, on the lake this morning. A couple bits of information for everybody. This morning, are pulling the docks at Oneida Shores. And supposedly they're pulling the side there where there's that one sidewalk that's usually left even when they pull the docks out. And I know there was a bunch of guys that launched there this morning, so they're going to hopefully they have a okay time trying to get back on the trailer if they've got 2 people this afternoon, because it's that east wind's going to be blowing in there and there's no docks to tie to. Seems awful early the county would pull the docks, and I had somebody else say to me this morning that this is when they pull them every year, but again, seems awful early that they pulled them. Now I've put my boat in and out at that ramp many times when there are no docks in, and it's certainly doable, and it's tricky. It is tricky. So just be careful and be aware. And so everybody from out of the area, if they were planning on fishing this weekend, just you got to know that the docks aren't there. I don't think they're going to close it completely unless they're planning on doing more work there. I don't know. But yeah, the docks are closed, or the docks are pulled at Oneida Shores. Now there are other marinas around. There's Big Bay on the west end. There's Big Bay. There's a little farther down is A&P. There's Johnson's Bay on the North Shore. Down in the river with a ramp, there's Burton Boatyard. So there are some other options. Any of those places, though, if you're going someplace besides Oneida Shores, if it was me, I would call in advance and make sure that everything's cool and open and copacetic and whatnot. You're getting to that time of year that it may not be anymore. I don't know. East wind blowing today. East, southeast. It's got a touch of south in it, not much. And it's light and variable. It's a nice drift this morning. It's less than 10 miles an hour. So it's been a nice drift all morning. I've been fishing shallow all day, looking for smallmouth specifically. Got my first fall smallie bite on a big white shad looking swim bait, which is cool. I only got the one. I've spent a lot of my morning talking. I've had quite a few people stop by and shoot the breeze, which is great. I'm not opposed to that ever, honestly. Um, but my fishing success was not high today, and I'm heading in now. It's just now 10 o'clock. So I've really just been chucking the swim bait, trying to protect my shoulder a little bit. I haven't jigged in 3 or 4 days now, and it's feeling better, but it's still a little tingly. So I've been fishing a lot of stuff that's horizontal as opposed to vertical or jigging presentations. I did talk to somebody this morning that said they had them good perch and walleyes mixed out around Wantry. So there's plenty of fish around. It's just a matter of finding the right ones and being able to stay on them long enough until they turn on. Like I said, water temp's down to 55.6, and again, I'm on the west end. It's shallow, it warms up faster in the spring, and it cools down faster in the fall. So I'm sure the east end is probably still in the 60s. Might even be as high as mid 60s. I don't know for sure, but it's much deeper down there, and it holds temp much longer than the west end. So I've seen online a few reports from Upper South Bay with some good fishing, so that east end should be turning on sooner than later. Let's see. Had a lot of fun yesterday perch fishing with Paul and his son Sam. I enjoyed that thoroughly, and we went back and we cleaned them and fried them up for lunch, and it was super. It was super. I enjoyed it, and it made me want to do a little bit more perch fishing. I might catch and release them all, but I almost brought out my ice rods and my ice jigs yesterday because I put the underwater camera down in 2 of the spots we were at, and it was filthy with perch. And I mean filthy. And we were catching fish in every spot we were at. We weren't catching a ton, like it wasn't, and we were fishing predominantly bait. I had fatheads and worms that I was and crawlers that I was cutting into 4. Was fishing a double rig, double drop shot rig, weight on the bottom. I did have a few, and I know I said this yesterday, I did catch a few, and my biggest one on a Soco Baits little chartreuse, clear chartreuse hammerhead plastic, just tipped on the hook, and that big one just waffled it, but it wasn't. We didn't get a ton of big ones, and we didn't get a ton, period. And we fished 4 hours, moved 3 spots, but it was awesome. Had a lot of fun, and a big shout out to Sammy. He made me and his dad pretty proud. Boy, the first few minutes of the day, he's like, "Oh, I don't want to touch a minnow. I don't want to touch a fish," and boy, within an hour, he was just in the corner doing it all by himself, putting minnows on, taking his fish off, catching them, and one right after another. He must have caught, I'll bet you the kid caught 30 fish yesterday. It was awesome. And we had some, and it was not the best conditions. It was windy, it was kind of cold, it was rainy on us a couple times. He was awesome. Never said boo. Love it. Love it. I know I was that way when my gramp took me fishing. You could have cut my arm off, I wouldn't have said anything, because I just I never wanted him to not want to take me. So I did everything I was told. I tried to pay attention and do things that I watched him do for him before he even asked or needed it, and that's just the way I was when I was a kid. And boy, Sam really showed me that yesterday too. He just watched us. We showed him a couple things once. He did it. There's some adults I can't say that about, So yesterday was a joy. I really enjoyed it. I even didn't mind cleaning fish. Cleaned a lot of fish in my life. A lot of fish. It's nice now that I don't really have to. The beauty of fishing is you can let fish go, which I do all the time. But fresh fish lunch was pretty good too. Those perch were delicious. So I think that's all. We just hit 1,900 subscribers this morning. Thank you everybody for all your support. It's awesome. I really appreciate it, and I'm working on the 2,000 subscriber celebration for next month. I'm working diligently on that, and there will be more details as they're available, but I am working diligently to put together a good time next month for our 2,000. I'm sure we're going to hit it before then, but that'll be the official celebration. So, all right, everybody. Thanks. I'm not sure what the week's going to bring, so I'm not going to say anything yet. I know we got good weather today and tomorrow. Thursday looks like a washout. Friday is supposed to be nice. Saturday is supposed to be beautiful. So, not quite sure what I'm going to do Saturday, but we're going to do something. So, thanks again. Have a great Tuesday. If you had yesterday off, then it's a short week. Good for you. If you didn't, then keep your chin up, keep your tip up, and let's keep rocking through to this weekend. Have a great day. Keep your tip up.